my screen.
Yeah.
So yesterday we stopped at this point of discussing about the Java programs.
Mm-hmm.
We were looking at the if condition. We have seen what a system.out.println statement is. Okay, before that, have you downloaded Java and Eclipse?
No, actually there was some, problem with my system, so I just stopped it. I'll try it again today.
Okay,
I couldn't do it. Maybe some problem with the system.
alright, fine. Okay,
Yeah.
as I already told you, from tomorrow till Friday, I'll not be able to take the class. Saturday, I can take the class, and what time I could take, I'll inform you. And in case if I'm not taking before time than what I'm taking today, then at the normal time I'll take the class on Saturday, but on Sunday, which is my Sunday, which will be your Saturday evening. In case you're not there, then okay, will you be available on Saturday?
Morning, I think I can attend. Evening, I'm not sure. I would have to let you know because we don't have any plans as of now. But because
Saturday
usually
is
it's
not
in the evening, I may or may not be. But morning, definitely, I think I can attend. That
okay.
will be like
So
Saturday morning and Sunday morning, both.
okay, Saturday. Then Sunday morning I'll plan it a bit early, and Saturday morning also for you. Saturday morning I'll try to make it a bit early
Okay.
and start.
Yeah.
That way I think we can profit.
Yeah.
And today also, if I take half an hour extra, you have any problem?
I think that's fine.
Alright. Because my other Selenium batch I just completed yesterday,
Mm-hmm.
and I was due to start one QTP batch, which I think probably from Monday it will start.
Okay.
Because I told that today is the last day, and tomorrow onwards I'm not there, so they won't start like that. Okay, so yesterday we were discussing about the system.out.println statement, which will print whatever string we will give inside the parentheses within double quotes, and if it's a number, we don't need to give give the double quotes. Is what we have seen. We have also looked at what are the different data types in Java that we will come across. We have integer, which is 32-bit length. We assign some value to the integer variable, and we have printed it. Similarly, we have long variable, which is 64-bit length. We have double data type integer, which takes care of the decimal point values, and we have character, which will take only single character, and the character should always be given within a single quote, unlike the string, which is in double quotes. Boolean will take only true or false values. And I also told you that using system.out.println statement, we can also use an expression inside our system.out.println statement, which will return us the value, whether it's true or false.
Mm-hmm.
And we have seen that string is not actually a data type, but it's a class embedded or class inbuilt in Java. That's why string will not come up in bold in that color. However, string is a keyword. Okay, string we have to assign using double quotes only. Within the double quotes, whatever you give will only be taken as a string.
Mm-hmm.
Then we have seen the if condition, how to use an if condition using two variables, finding greatest of the two values. We have seen giving if, and then within parentheses the condition. We will start the flower braces, and whatever block of statement that we will write here, they will give the else statement, and then other block of statement after the if condition we have given here. Similarly, we have also seen comparing three values to get the greatest out of those three values. So we have seen there will be if and then the condition. After that we have else if, which is the second if. If this is not the condition, then there is one more condition, and else is the last default condition. So in case you want to use 10 times if, then you should be using if so and so, else if so and so, else if so and so, and at the end the else will be the last default thing. Fine?
Yeah.
So this was what we were looking at yesterday. I'll take you through arrays then, or before that I'll show you how, there's something called concatenation we have seen. This is what concatenation I told. We are concatenating the string along with the variable number value. So regarding that, there's a concatenation program I'll show you. Before that, did we run this program first thing?
No.
I don't think we have run it. Just to see the values. Okay. Yeah, it will print us whatever we wanted. Welcome to Java, then first day of programming. Welcome to Java, first day of programming. Then the numbers, whatever we given. After that, the variables we have assigned 100. This that 2, 3, 4, 5 value, 91.45 value of double, and then the single character E value, then the boolean value B is equal to true, and we are printing B, so it is giving us true value. Then 2 less than 1 I have given in system.out.println, which is returning me false value. After that, my name is so I am printing using the string values that it is giving me out, and through if condition whatever we have used, it is giving me the result. Y is the greatest from the first if, because y is 230 and which is greater than 120, so we have got the correct answer. For the second if else condition, b1 is the greatest, it says, because the 44 is the greatest of the other two numbers, so it's giving us the correct value. Okay, now I'll show you what actually I meant using concatenating things. So I'm concatenating. So for example, I have two strings x and y, and I have two integer values 10 and 49. So when I add these two strings x plus y, and when I comment the rest of the things, and I'll show you only these things. Afterwards I can uncomment. If you want to comment any block of code, then you have to go to source, add block comment, it will get commented like this. And if you also want to do it manually, then also you can do. Just give a slash and star, and at the end of the block just give star and slash. So all those lines will be commented. If you want to comment a single line, then you have to give a double slash in the starting of the line. Okay?
Yeah.
Just give a double slash in the starting of the line, it will get commented. So if you want to write a comment, like so like this, you will write the comment, double slash and comment, write the comment. It will appear in a different color also, similar to this. Fine. So now I'm running this. This is my x and y, and I'm adding these two strings using the same plus operator, and these two also I'm adding using the plus operator, which will give me the normal result which I want. Hello to Java it says, and it is giving me 59. Now what I'll do, I have uncommented this, and I've given a plus b plus x plus y. Okay, to add these two numbers and then add to these two strings.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll just run it. So it is giving me 59. Hello to Java. Okay.
Yeah.
Then I'll uncomment this and I'll run it. So I'm adding these two numbers. I'm adding these two strings first, and then I am adding these two numbers, x plus y plus a plus b. So what my value, what does my value give? Hello to Java and 10 and 49.
49.
Instead of giving 59 at the end, it is giving 10 and 49.
Yeah.
So can you guess what's the reason?
It's just taking it as a string, 10 and 49.
Yeah. So because plus addition operator or concatenation operator was used before these two numbers for a string.
So it assumes to be a string.
In the same line, so it will assume that by default whatever you are adding to a string will be a string.
Okay.
So to avoid that situation, what we can do is you can add those two numbers in parentheses. Then after coming to this point, it will stop there and it will think about it. Then it will go forward adding those two as numbers.
Okay.
So when I run it again, it will run me with giving the correct values. Okay. So you have to be careful when you are adding two strings and two numbers, and adding two strings and numbers with along with each other. So that's the thing I want to give you all. So when you are adding two strings and numbers at a time, just be careful about it. Okay. And I also want to tell you that we can add two strings or numbers with the same operator. Fine. So that's how you concatenate things. Okay.
Yeah.
So then let's get into arrays. After that, I'll take you through the loops. So this is how a one-dimensional array will look like. So what is an array first thing? What's an array? What do you understand by an array?
Similar things together. I mean, like kind of. I mean, definition wise, I'm not able to tell you, but as we have gone through this.
Yeah. So instead of declaring, if I want to store 100 values of the same person or same values of same type, instead of creating 100 variables, which is highly impractical and unnatural, I will store all those values in one array, which is of the same type, or which is related. Which means instead of creating 100 students details separately, I will create one array of student, and in that only I will store those 100 values which I want to store. So if I want to store all the employees' names and their salaries in my company, I can just create an array for storing all the employees' numbers, names, and salaries like that in a single array with a size 1000 instead of creating 1000 variables separately. Okay. So here in Java also we will do it like this. But unlike in VBScript, you can create a variable, you can create an array without mentioning which type of value it is, isn't it? You don't need to mention if it is an integer, if it's a character, or if it's a string. You don't need to mention at all. But VBScript is a scripting language. Java is a totally type-based language, which is it strictly follows data typing. So you have to mention what type of data it is. If you're storing an integer value, you have to mention that it is an integer array. If it's a single variable also, if you want to store some value into a variable, then you have to mention that it's an integer or character or what is it. Okay.
Yeah.
You getting my point?
Yeah.
And it's a compulsory thing for you to declare variables. Unlike in Qtp, VBScript, for VBScript you don't need to it's not compulsory that you declare the variables, but
Yeah.
here it's a must for you to declare the variables. Okay. So now this is how I declare an array. The syntax for declaring an array is like this: data type, first data type, then variable name, and then we will give the square brackets is equal to new, the data type, name, then within the square brackets the length of the array that you want to give.
Okay.
So if I want to store string values, string variable name, which is str1, I am giving string 1 str1. So after the square bracket is equal to new, and that's that data type name, then the length of the array that I want to use. So 5 values I want to use in the array, so I am giving string of 5.
Okay.
Okay. And in any language, in any scripting language or normal language, always array value will start from index 0 only.
Yeah.
Here also it is starting with 0 only. So if I want to have 5 values in my array, that means my index should be from 0 to 4.
Mm. Yeah.
So that's how I stored it here also. So it's individually different index values I am storing into an array like this. str1 of 0 is equal to so.trainer 1, str1, str2, like this. All the values I am storing separately.
Mm-hmm.
After that, I am printing the length of the array. How to print the length of the array? Array name dot length, if I give, then it will give me the size or length of the array.
Mm-hmm.
Just giving the str1 dot length, which is str1 is the name of the array. So name of the array dot length. Dot length is the class. Sorry, is the method. Is the inbuilt method. So when I say str.1 dot length, it will give me the size of that array or the length of the array. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Then I am printing each value of the array through the for loop. How do I use the for loop? Okay, I should have gone through loops first. Fine, still, this is like an introduction then. I'll use the for loop like this. I'll just say for, and within the parenthesis I'll give int, where whatever is the data type that I want to specify for a variable. Okay, if I want to give, most probably we will give integer values only in the for loop. Okay, for this is the integer value, j is equal to 0. I'm starting j is equal to 0, j less than string1 dot length j plus plus. Why? Because my array will always start from index with index 0. So I want to print system.out.println str1 of j I am giving, which means my values, whatever values I should have, they should vary from 0 to 4. Isn't it? When I'm printing the string1 value, they should vary from 0 to 4 in the index. So I am just mentioning the index as a variable. That variable I am iterating again and again using a variable name called j. So what will happen when I'll say int j is equal to 0, j less than string1 dot length j plus plus. First j value will be 0, so it will come inside the loop. Okay, it will print str1 of j, which is 0, which means first value. It will print. Again it will come here. It will check this condition. Is j less than str1 dot length? Yes. Then it will increment. Okay. Then j will be 1. So it will come here. System.out.println str1 of j, which is 1, which means the second value. Like that, it will print all the values by checking this condition.
Okay.
Okay. So this condition is checked, and if the condition is correct, still true, then it will increment, and it will work on this. Okay. You're getting my point?
Yeah.
Or is it confusing?
No, I got it.
So this is how we will iterate the loop, and we will get the values of the array using this variable in the for loop. I'll just run it and you'll understand it easily. So length of the array, string array is 5. We got it by using the array name.length. Then we are printing each value in the array that we have stored.
Yeah.
Let's now look at the loops part. This is simple, I believe, because we have already gone through
Yeah.
including me. So how to use a while loop? In while loop, I'll just have a condition only that I will mention. Until the condition is true, the loop statements will get executed. Once the loop condition is false, the statements will stop getting executed. The loop will get terminated. Okay. So
Yeah.
I'm just giving int k is equal to 1, and I'm saying while k less than 11, print the value of now k now is, and I'm giving the k value, and I'm incrementing the value also.
Okay.
So what am I doing here? I'm printing the values from 1 to 10. So because k is equal to 1, first it will check 1 is less than 11, it will print 1. Then it will increment k, which is k will become 2, 2 less than 11, it will print 2. Like that, it will come and check 10 is less than 11, okay, it will print k, and k it will increment. 11 is less than 11, no, so it will stop.
Yeah.
Similarly, we can also decrement. You can also increment, you can also decrement. So in this statement, what am I doing? From 10 to 1, I am printing the values. I am giving I is equal to 10, I greater than 0, and I am saying print the value of I, and I am decrementing the value of I each time.
Yeah.
So it will print me from 10 to 1. Finally, I am printing the value of j from 0 to 9. J is equal to 0, I am saying j less than 10. So first it will print the value of 0 till the time till it comes to 9. 9 less than 10, it will print 9. 10 less than 10, no, so it will stop there. So 0 to 9 it will print. So I'll run them and you will understand better. See here. Value of k now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Then I gave the star marks through the system.out statement.
Yeah.
Okay. Then till 10, 1 to 10,
Decreasing. Yeah.
the first one. Then the decreasing thing, 10, 9, 8, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That's the second group. Third loop is 0 to 9. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's it. Similar is my for loop. However, in while loop, I have to separately write the step for incrementing and decrementing. I have to initialize separately. I am initializing separately, I am incrementing separately through different steps. Okay.
Yeah.
What happens if I forget this incrementation or decrementation step? Any idea?
It will just print the first, like whatever it checks the first time.
So it will print that value. However, it will not stop printing it, which means it will go into an
infinite loop. Yeah. Yeah,
So,
because got it.
Yeah, in case we forget that step, then that will be a problem. So, and initialization also we have to do it separately. But in a for loop, we don't have that problem. In a for loop, we have initialization at the same point. We have the writing condition at the same point. We increment the condition. We increment the values also at the same point. So instead of 3 steps, we write only 1 step. and then we will print the values that we want, or we will iterate the block of statements that we want to. So instead of the same program for printing from 1 to 10, using for loop I am able to write within a single step here.
Single step, yeah.
Just here I am using the for loop and I am writing in a single step. Okay, so I'll just execute it. 1 to 10, the same thing it got printed. So while loop actually we will use when we are not sure about how many number of times it has to run.
Okay.
For loop we will use it when we have knowledge of the loop to run how many number of times. We are sure of the number of times that the loop has to run. Then we will give the for loop. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's the basic difference. And in while loop, we have to initialize separately. We have to increment separately, which is not in the for loop. Okay. Right, we have seen the one-dimensional array. We have seen the loops. We have seen concatenating things. Then I will show you the two-dimensional array example also. This is how we will declare two-dimensional array. Similar to the one-dimensional array, but you just add the other dimension,
One more
which is square
dimension.
brackets on both sides. So the data type, then the variable name with the square brackets, then is equal to new, and the data type name again, and the size in one dimension, the first dimension, and the size in the other dimension. That you will mention. So I have given here a string. I have assigned a string with 3 rows and 5 columns. Two-dimensional array means you have rows and columns also. If it's a single dimensional array, that means you only have rows.
Yeah. Hello.
Oh, sorry. So I'm assigning my values of each row like this. For this X array, whatever I have. So the first value or the first dimension in the data type of array is the rows. The second dimension is the columns, isn't it? So for the same row, I am assigning different values for the different columns.
Yeah.
It's like an Excel sheet actually when you look at. Okay, this is my different rows. These are my different columns. So for each column, I am assigning a different value. Similar to this, like okay, when I am doing it, I am assigning A, B, like that. Like this, I am assigning. Then in the second row, so these are different columns for me. In 5 different columns, I am giving 5 different values. Similar to that. So 0 is my row number, which is the first row. For the same first row, for different column values, I am assigning the values.
Yeah.
Similarly for the second row, X of 1, and then these things will change. Similarly in the third row. Okay. Then how do I print these rows, or print the number of rows that I have? Number of rows, again printing is the same. I will give the array dot length, array name dot length. Previously we have seen str1 dot length I have given in the previous program. Then I assign the string variable to the one-dimensional array.
Yeah.
So I have given str1.length. Similar to that, I will give x.length here. The array name dot length.
Okay.
It will give me the number of rows. So how do I print the number of columns then? So what I will do is, in one array, how many columns are there? I will count that. So in all of the columns also, in all of the rows also, I should have the same number of columns. So what I will do is, I'll just say x of 0 dot length, which means for the first row, x of 0 is the first row, right?
Yeah.
For the first row, what is the length? Which means in the first row, how many columns are there?
Mm-hmm.
Then it will give me the number of columns. Okay.
Okay.
After that, I will print all the values of my different rows and columns. I want to print all the rows and columns values.
Okay.
So what I'm doing, I'm taking the length of the number of rows, and I'm also taking the length of the columns. Which means I want the number of rows and columns for me to print, because I have to iterate for those many rows and columns, right?
Mm-hmm.
So for 3 rows, for 3 rows, and in each row 5 columns, I have to print.
Yeah.
I have 3 rows and 5 columns. So I have to print for 3 rows and for 5 columns in each row. So how do I print it? I will use a for loop like this. I will loop it twice. I will write for int row number. Here I have given rows is equal to x dot length, columns is equal to x of 0 dot length. And I am giving for int row number is equal to 0, row number less than rows, which means this row number variable should be less than this, the length of the array, or the length of the size of the number of rows. Which means simply when say 0 till the number of rows, iterate me this thing and increase the row number every time.
Mm-hmm.
Which means it will take first it takes 0. It will check the condition. The rows will be here in this program. The number of rows is 3, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
So 0 and row number less than 3, increment the variable.
Yeah.
So 0 till 2 it will be, because I am giving less than 3. So 0 to 2, which is the number of rows based on the index, isn't it? 0, 1, 2 are the indexes. So for that things, then inside one more for loop I am giving. This is to print the number of columns, print the columns. Okay. When I take this step, when it will go for first step consideration, or when it will go for first iteration, what will a for loop or while loop will do? Until the number of times the iteration is done for the block of statements that it is given, it will not come outside, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
So if I have given any number of statements, then all this is a block of statement for me. So until these statements are done, it will not go outside, isn't it? It will not go to check the condition again. But inside this also have one more for loop, but that is immaterial for that external for loop.
Yeah.
Okay. Which means all the conditions in this for loop should get satisfied first. Then only it will go to the outer for loop for incrementing and working it again. You're able to get the point?
Yeah.
So these for the outer for loop, this is a block of statement, which means until these statements are completed for execution, it will not come to this point and check again the condition.
Yes.
So this condition should get run first. This condition should get satisfied first. But inside this also I have a condition and I have an implementation part, which means until this all this block of codes for this for loop are not executed, it will not go out of this for loop. So I have my first row number is equal to 0. Once it is assigned, it will check the condition and it will come into this loop. And the row number will still be 0. Till the time all these statements get executed, the row number will be 0 only. Isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I am giving system.out.println x of row number and then column number.
Mm-hmm.
Column number I have given 0, 3, less than column numbers, which I am deriving it from here. X of 0 dot length, the number of columns will get. So from here I am deriving the column number. Why am I saying I am deriving it from there? Because I have given the condition that columns is less than the column number.
Yeah. And we are just iterating till that.
Yeah, this will be 5. In our case, it is 5. So 0 till 4 it will be.
Mm-hmm.
So first row, it will be first row because we are inside. First row means 0, comma, 1 second.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, okay, it was an institute person. Previously I called him, and at that time he would not have seen because these two people are interrelated. The one who I am in touch and Mr. Purna, because they two are friends, and through this person I communicate to him.
Okay.
So I called him because the link was not on time, so he just he did not take the call at that time. He just called me back. Okay, now here when we look at this loop, so the first the row number will be 0. So that will continue because until this loop is done, it will not go outside. So row number will be still be 0, and it will come to column number, which will iterate from 0 till less than 5, which is 4. So from 0 to 4 it will change. So every time when I get this loop printed, it will be x of 0, comma 0, then x of 0, comma 1, like that till x of 4, which is the total first row for all the columns.
Mm-hmm.
Then again, once all the column numbers are completed, then again it will go outside to the outer for loop. Then again the row number will change. Then again, once the row number is changed, again it will come inside. Then for the first row number 1, all the columns will get executed again. Like that till the outer for loop gets satisfied with the condition. Unless the condition becomes false, these will get executed for all the rows, and inside for all the columns also it will get executed.
Mm-hmm.
Fine?
Yeah.
Now I've given two system.out.print statements. Here I've given print and here I've given println. Can you guess any Any reason why? I want to print all the values of one row in the same row, and from the next row I want to print in the next row. But all the columns I want to print in the same row. All the column values I want to print in the same row. So if I give system.out.print, it will print me in the same row.
Yeah.
So inside things, when I take inside things, for a single row I am printing all the columns. So all those columns I want to print in the same row. That's why I've given system.out.print. Okay.
Okay.
And once it steps outside, for each row, after each row, I want to take it to the next row.
Next row.
That's why I have given system.out.println and I have given blank space, which means it will go to the next line.
Okay.
Okay. The difference between print and println is print means it will print in the same line. Println means it will take us to the next line.
Okay.
Okay. Here, if I give println, it will print all the values in one row separately. Let me show it to you. See here. Here I am printing each row values of different columns in the same row. If I give println, then all the values, this A, B, C, D, will all be in different lines. Like this.
Got it. Yeah.
So that's why I have given print. That's the formatting thing that I've done. Okay. So that's about two-dimensional array. We usually use two-dimensional arrays in our programs when we use Selenium. Why? Because we always deal with data which is usually from Excel, isn't it? So we will accept data from Excel and we will use it in Selenium programs. So that's why I wanted to touch this two-dimensional arrays thing. Then I will look at a classic example of creating creating objects. How to define an object and how to create an object. Okay, this is how I create an object or a class first. First I will write a class. Okay, one thing that I forgot to mention. In any program or in any Java class or in any Java file, we can have as many number of classes that we can define. Classes, we can define as many number of classes as possible. That's our wish. But there can be only one public class inside it. There has to be only one public class. Any number of classes you can have, but the public class should be only one.
Okay.
And the name of that public class should be the same as the file name. The public class name should be same as the file name. When you observe here. Otherwise it will give us error. Okay?
Yeah.
The public class name should be the same as the file name, and this public class only will have the public static void main. The public class only will have the public static void main. So what is this public static void main? First thing. Do you remember anything about C or C++ functions?
Yeah.
So, any idea what main function is in C or C++?
It's a method.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a method. Then what's the specialty of main method?
I think you need not define the.
No, main method is the method into which the control comes first, isn't it?
Yeah.
Whatever value you use, whatever functions you create separately in C or C++, all those functions you have to use in main method only.
Yeah.
Why? Because the control comes first into main method. Similarly, Java is also written in that fashion. Whatever number of classes you create, how many number of methods you may have in any class, but you have to mention or you have to use all those classes only in main method, because controls comes first into that method.
Okay. Yeah.
Only then from the main method it will get diverted into the control will get diverted into other classes or other functions. Okay, let's look at this example. I created a class called bank. Okay. In bank class I have two methods or two functions. Okay, public void deposit, public void withdraw. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So what is this public void first thing? Or I'm not mentioning here. I don't mention uh, here. I mentioned public class oops example, but I don't mention here anything. So what does it mean? If I don't define anything, if I don't mention anything, by default that means that is a private class.
Okay.
Okay, private class means you can't access it from outside the file.
Yeah.
Okay, unless you create an object. If you create an object, you can use it.
Mm-hmm.
But if I have any method inside this public class, if I have any method, then I can use all those methods inside any other class also. For example, if I have it here, any other method like let's say public void, what is it here? Public void print, I say print. This simply print, I just say. Okay, I can use it here. Public, okay, which example? I can use it here also. I can use it. It is not local to this. So Displaced construct. Okay, we have some concept called constructors. Okay, for now just leave it like that. Okay, just forget about it. I'll explain you in detail afterwards. That thing. Okay, for now I am creating a class, and inside my class I have two functions, and I am creating an object for this class. Only after creating an object I can use this class or the methods of the class or any variable of the class. So I have to create an object for this class. I have two methods inside the class, and those two methods are public void methods. What is public void? Void means it does not return any value. It is not returning any value. That is the void function. If any function does not return any value, then that's a void function. If I say if I want to return any value, then I have to give the data type through which it has to return the value. Okay. So public void means that function is not returning any value. And here, as I already told, in my public class I will have my public static void main, and the public static void main is a function into which the control will come first. So inside my public static void main I will declare the classes, objects for the classes, and I will use the methods of the particular classes using that object. So I am creating an object for the class bank here. What is the syntax? Class name followed space object name is equal to new class name and enclosed by the parenthesis. This is the syntax. So my class name is bank, so I'll give first class name as bank. Then object name I want to give as B. I can give any name. It's your wish. So B is equal to new and the class name followed by the parenthesis. So bank. I'll give it like this. Then when I say B dot, whatever methods are available in B or in class bank, all those methods I'll be able to see. Let me show it. When I say B dot, it will show me the default functions. It will show me. Apart from that, it will also show me the functions which I have written. See here, it's showing me bank. This is the function from the bank class. It says all these are object system related. Default mentioned here at the end withdraw. This is also from the bank. Okay, so this is how I create an object, and I use the object for accessing the methods I have in the class. Okay. Here also for the class in which I have written. Sorry, 1 second. Hello? Yeah, sorry. So this is how I created classes and objects for those classes, and I use the methods in my class. In this public class also I have created one method outside this main function. That method also I am accessing through a class and the object of the class. So when I run it, it will give me the values regarding that. So in the first method, I have the depositing. So deposit method, deposit amount is the statement that I have given in this deposit method. That it got printed. Withdraw, I have the withdraw the amount statement. I have printed that. In oops example class, I created the object. I have the method prnt in which I've written. It is printing the simply print also. Okay, which I have given here. So I can access the methods of my class using an object like this. Fine. Okay, then let's look at an example of inheritance. How you inherit. So what is inheritance?
I mean, the child class can use up or takes few from the parent class, yeah.
Right. So if I have one class and I don't want to write the same code again and again, but I have a class which I have to create with the same features. So I'll just take I will just inherit the features of the class that I have already written into my new class. Which means I have it, for example, when I take a car class, the normal features, usual features of a car to start and stop, I will just write inside the car class. For any type of car, these two features are compulsory. So when I write a Maruti class, I will extend this car class, which means I am inheriting the features of this car class. Once I inherit these features, I can use them without writing this code. I can use this code or these methods inside the extended or the child classes of this parent class. This is called parent class. Whatever you extended, that class is called the child class. So the syntax is class new, and whatever new class name that you want to give, that class name extends, then base class name is the syntax to write inheritance statement. Okay, to inherit any class from to write a new class inheriting the other class, this is the method, or this is the syntax. Class new class name extends the base class name. Okay.
Yeah.
So which means when I say extends, or these two methods of the car class will automatically come into my Maruti class. These two methods will automatically come into my Maruti class. If I don't have any other features, I don't need to use, or I don't need to write anything. But let's say, because for Maruti also it may have special features. Those special features, I am just writing it as a system.out.println statement using the method special features. So when I want to use these things, I'll just use it. I have one more class, Ford, which is extending Maruti. Ford class extends the Maruti class also, which means whatever features are there in the car class and Maruti class will be there in Ford class now, because we are extending the Maruti also again.
Yeah.
So Maruti will have whatever car class will have, plus we have written one more method. So all these three methods will also be available for Ford, because we are extending Maruti now. And in Ford also I have written one more method, special. Okay, so all these I can use when I will use those in a public class which has the same name of the file name. and in the same public class I will have my public static void main also. So here I am creating object for Maruti and for Ford also. Okay, so for Maruti also I am able to use the start and stop functions of the car class, and the special features is of the Maruti class. For Ford class I am creating an object and I am able to use the start method from the car class, stop method from the car class, and special features from the Maruti class, and this special from the Ford class. If you, when you point out here, you can see here it shows void
Yeah, it shows
Java
which
program dot
yeah.
car dot start.
Mm-hmm.
This is also from the car dot class. Here
Maruti.
Maruti dot special features. Here Ford dot special.
Ford.
Okay, this is how you will inherit the properties of the base classes. When I run this, it will print me all those. Start the car, stop the car, special features. Then again, start the car, stop the car, special features of Ford. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So that's about inheritance. We are inheriting the properties of other class by creating an object for the present class, which inherits the properties. Okay, we don't need to create an object for the base class. We can directly create an object for the derived class or the inherited class, and we can use the methods or properties of the base class through that object. Fine.
Mm-hmm.
Then let me tell you about overloading and overriding also. With that we will complete the object-oriented programming of Java. I'll just give you these programs once I am done with those two also, and from the next class onwards we can start Selenium RC.
Okay.
Okay. So what happens in overloading? What did I say about overloading yesterday?
We have two kinds again, function overloading and operator.
Yeah.
And operator is not supported by Java. Yeah.
Right. And what is function overloading?
Same method name, same function, but what do you say? It has the same name, but yeah, parameters are different. And
we will have the same names for two different methods, but the parameters that we will pass will be different.
mm-hmm.
Okay. So here I have bank1 class, in which I have the deposit and withdrawal functions. I have deposit function. I have two withdrawal functions. With the same name I have two different functions. However, I have in the second withdrawal function two parameters that I have to pass, bank name and branch.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, based on that I will print those two things also. Withdraw amount from the so and so bank with and so and so branch. And when I create an object, how does it identify which function that I want to call? Because the two functions are in the same class. So if you don't pass any parameter, or if you pass a parameter which is not related, which the number of type parameters or the type of parameters that you have for one class, if you pass, it will take that class only. Here I am not passing any parameter. That means it will understand that this class, this method that we are referring to, is the first method which does not have any parameters.
Yeah.
When I am giving two parameters here inside, it will understand that whatever two parameters and types of parameters that we have, that method it will go to, and it will call that method. Okay, what happens when I create an object and call the method? When I say b dot deposit, when the steps get executed, it will come to this point b dot deposit. It will go, when it comes across this b, it will go to the class in which, for which we have created the object. So it will go to the class bank1. In bank1, what is the class? What is the function we are referring to? Deposit. It will go to the deposit. It will execute those steps of the deposit function, and it will come back to this again. It will come back to this point again. Again it will see, okay, b dot withdrawal. So it will go to the again bank1 class. In that, what is the function? Withdrawal. And what is the parameter? There is no parameter. So it will go to the second function, execute that function, and it will come back again to this point, like that. You getting the point?
Yeah.
Or anything confusing, or I'm a bit too fast?
No, I got it.
Okay, one second. So this is how you will mention, or you will handle overloading. Overloading is I'm using more than one function with the same name. However, I am passing the parameters accordingly. So it will understand based on the parameters that I pass. Fine. Now I have the next concept of overriding. So what is overriding? I will have the same class name, same method name for more than one method, and I will even have the same parameters also. I will have the same parameters. Then which one it will take? But I will not have the same method names in the same class. I will have in a different class. However, one will be my base class, one will be my derived class. Let me show it to you. Okay, this is my bank2 class. This is my bank3 class. In my bank2 class, I have my void deposit. In my bank3 class, which is extending bank2, which is inheriting the bank2, also I have void deposit. Same name. There are no parameters. There are no parameters. You getting? There are no parameters. And
Yeah.
I'm inheriting this class, which means I have this class. I'm able to access this method also, and when I create an object for this bank3, I will be able to access this method also. Isn't it?
Yeah.
I have this deposit, both names I have. So when I create an object, which one will be called, do you think? Any idea? Any guess?
Usually the first one.
No, whatever is the derived class, it will give preference to the derived class.
Okay.
Because that is the most recent one through which we are accessing. So when I create an object for bank3 and call b.deposit, it will call the method inside this bank3 only. It will not go to the bank2 from where which we are inheriting. It will go to the derived class only. It will not go to base class.
Okay.
So if I want to access my bank2 method also, okay, if I want to access bank2 method separately, I can create an object for bank2 and I can call that method. Okay. Along with bank3, I want to access bank2 method deposit also, which means I want to access this method, this deposit method, and this method also. Both methods I want to access.
Okay.
In that case, I will just write super dot that method name inside this method. Inside the derived class, I will write the super dot method name. That means here once we come into this function, super means it is going to the parent class. So go to super class and search whether this function is there, where this function is, and then execute it. Okay. Which means once it comes to this class, this method, it will go to the method of the base class, which is the parent class. It will execute that function. Then it will come back to the second step. It will execute this step, and it will come back to the main function again. Got it?
Okay.
So when I execute this function, it will execute me all the steps. This fill the form, go to the counter and deposit, and then no need to fill the form, but take a token. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
See here. Okay. Here you will have a continuation of the previous ones, whatever it be. Fill the form, go to the counter and deposit, then take a token, or then collect the receipt like that. I just wrote no need to fill the form. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So this is how I access or I override the existing class. If I don't give super.deposit, it is overriding the base class and accessing only the derived class, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm also handling how to use the base class.
Yeah. And for say if we have two derived classes in this case, how would that work? Because
Two derived
yeah.
classes means derived class of which one? For the bank 2 or bank 3?
Maybe bank 2.
Okay, for the same bank 2, I have one more derived, one more class. Let's say I have bank 4, which extends bank 2.
Yeah.
Okay. Then also in bank 4, if I mention any class deposit inside bank 4, that will be given preference when I create an object for bank 4.
Yeah.
If I don't create any method with that name, then it will directly refer the bank 2 method.
Okay.
You're able to get the point.
Maybe you can just repeat once again.
Okay. Here in bank 3, I have this deposit method, right?
Mm-hmm.
In bank 4 also, if I have deposit method,
That will take
in
from bank
4
2.
also,
Yeah.
yeah. If I have deposit method in bank 4 also, which extends the bank 2, still it will prefer the bank 4 only if I create an object for bank 4.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's the child class, right? It will prefer the child class method.
Yeah, got it.
So any number of times you extend it, it will always prefer the child class method if you have the same name. If you don't have any method with that name in the child class, it will refer to the parent class directly.
Okay.
Fine.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's about it for object-oriented programming. These are the basic things that I wanted to mention. Just go through if you get any other concepts like you have something called lists and abstract classes. There's something called list abstract class. What else? Yeah, just go through lists and abstract classes also in Java. Okay, those we may need to use in going forward. And that's like a lengthy thing, and I am also not very much knowledge in that. Whatever basic understanding that you can get, just go through that about lists and abstract classes.
Fine.
Okay, so I'll stop it here for today, and I'll take you through the next. When we get the next session, we will start Selenium RC, and before that, please download all those things that I have mentioned here.
Yeah. And also, can you send me the QTP software also? because I'm in.
Before that, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll upload it and inform you. You can download it.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, by next Sunday I will give it to you.
Sure. Okay.
Okay then. Thank you then.
Fine
Bye-bye.
then. Yeah. Thank you. Bye.